Hiya, it's Doug from Hillys Garage and Hillys Bushcraft and Hillys all sorts. What I've come to do is try to explain to you how this all came about and where we're going with it all. Right, many years ago, back in 2000, it was 2000, 2001, I had a car crash and I nearly had my head tore off. The seat in my car broke in half. I ended up in the back seat. I ended up with a really bad neck and I weren't doing anything for a long time. So I was stuck in the house. And there were a prospect of me not doing all the things I used to do. So I started looking at things to change over in my life. And I went on YouTube. Right, so I'm sat in front of the computer and I'm watching all the things that I used to enjoy. I'm watching rallying, camping, off-roading, music, all sorts of things, and I came across the Paris-Dakar rally, which I knew existed. I've been a service mechanic on rallies, on RAC, British Open Championship and other things in my life. And I thought, that'd be nice to do that. But I thought, well, your neck's not going to last. That's not going to work. You've done with that. So I thought, right, let's have a look at camping. And then bushcraft came up. And I thought, well, I used to do that as a kid. All what they're doing on these films, my dad did with me when I was a kid. He used to take us hunting, rabbiting, ferreting, shooting, foraging. He used to do all sorts with us. And he had a farm that we could go on that he used to work on during the war. So we used to be able to go up there and used to milk cows, drive tractors, all sorts of things. So I thought, right, I'll have a look at that. And I set up Hillys Bushcraft and Camping, which was supposed to be about bushcraft skills, camping, wild sort of camping. And it all sort of got mingled in to more things that I used to be interested in. So it started getting a little bit out of hand, and I dropped it about a couple of years ago just because I couldn't be bothered with it. I got the YouTube fed up bug. So what I did is, in the last year, I've started changing everything round, and I wanted to come on here to explain where we're going from here. Now my son's a bit older, he's started doing bushcraft stuff, got a couple of horses you might have seen, and there's a few things that we're doing. So after a while of watching YouTube and doing a few bits and pieces and planning out what we were going to do, me and Anthony went to wilderness gathering, we went to bushcraft show, we went a few places like that. And my wife said, well, why aren't we going anywhere? She said, we've got a caravanning yard, we've got things to do, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. Anyway, we looked a bit longer and it came up with 1940s. So I said to Geraldine, why don't we do 1940s? She says, why is that? I said, because, well, my granddad played a band in 40s, my dad were a farmer in 40s, he were a young lad, 15, 16, at the later end of the war, and he worked with land girls and what have you. And I've also had an interest in it because we used to play as kids in air raid shelters, bunkers. My granddad used to tell stories about what happened, which I'm telling you later on when we get to the end of this. Things sort of went from there. I said, well, we'll go camping. He says, well, I don't want to, I'll go camping in caravan. So right, we went in caravan. But after a year, we decided to go on an adventure and we went to Normandy. And we did a tour of the battlefields in Normandy. And we went in our old Espace car. We took a tent and all the gear in the back of the car. And we went for 3 weeks. And we went all over Normandy beaches. We went down to Mortagne. We went to racetracks, we came back, we looked at houses, we went all the way around, come back through Le Mans, and then we worked his way back home. We had a great time. We saw a lot of history, and that led to us doing a lot of 1940s events over the last couple of years, which is why I run a site called 1940s Weekends. So we came back from there and we kept on going on camping trips. I did anyway, and bushcraft stuff, and it came about that most of the lads were moving over to vans, to camper vans. And I thought, well, I've had maybe 6 camper vans in my life. I built maybe 5 of them, kitted them out anyway, because I used to be a mechanic and we used to kit out vans where I worked for like your Sky guys that are now, which used to be British Gas and British Electric, YEB and things like that. So I thought, well, we'll have a look at that. And then van camping came up, and the Vanlife, and me and Geraldine had a plan when we got to 50 that we would sell up, get a van and go live, go travel about. So that Vanlife thing sort of all came in as well, and I thought, well, I'll follow that, and got into that, and we were going to build his own caravan or van, and I started van camping online to have a look at that, because I was looking at that many, I shared good ideas, etc, etc, and that built on that. So the next thing was, we look back at what we're going to do, and I'm thinking, why did I ever want to go travelling? And I didn't think at the time, and I look back, and Geraldine thought, he said, well, you used to say you wanted to be a new age traveller. Well, I did when I was about 16, 17. I fancied being a new age traveller when all fairs were on and everything was Glastonbury on and you could get in there, and I thought, yeah, that's for me, that I can do that. Anyway, I ended up getting a job. I trained as a mechanic, as a technician, as a vehicle technician on heavy goods and light vehicle, and had a career in cars and trucks and buses, motorbikes. I ended up being a lecturer in motor vehicle engineering for about 15 years. Anyway, back to this travelling thing. Things went from one to another, and we were going in and out, travelling, coming back, camping, blah blah blah. And my dad didn't get well. My dad started getting unwell, and he mentioned, which had been mentioned years ago, that we were related to the Romanies. I said, are we not? He says, yeah, we are. He says, your Uncle John says we are. Time to get paperwork to you. So my Uncle John sent me paperwork of ancestry, and to cut a long story short, we are related to the Hills. That's why they call me Hilly. That's my nickname from school. To the Malvern Hills in Worcestershire is where the gypsies came from, where you see on Peaky Blinders, on the Stour Bridge up to the Black Country area, which I'll explain in another video on another thing, and that's what led to the Nomadic Woodsman and our living history display that we do. My son took it on and he ran with it and found a lot more out, and there are a lot more information about it that I haven't told anybody yet, so that's to come as well. Right, the next thing was, after the accident, after a lot of camping, a few years of doing it, I went and back to photography. Now, photography came about from my granddad, Haig. He's not Hill, he's Haig. And he used to be a keen amateur photographer and videographer on the Super 8 cinefilm. There's boxes of films, there's about 10 boxes of films under the bed in our house of me as a child from the 1960s, some prior to that in the 50s. There's photographs and slides from the 30s up to the 70s of what he took all over England. He travelled all over England and took photos on his holidays. He was already travelling in a caravan, but he preferred hotels. He was a posh man, my granddad. The stories of him being in the war, and he were in the Home Guard. When he were in the Home Guard, my dad used to say when he watched Dad's Army, that's your granddad there. That's the one, the favourite horse trying to sell stuff and dodge stuff. That was my granddad. Anyway, I took up photography and I did a wedding photography business for a while. And then I had to tell you I had some health issues. I had a bad stomach, my neck came back. I ended up not doing it and packing it in. I still run it, that's why DHP, Duncan Hill Photography, is still seen on a lot of social media. And I'm going to bring it back, but it's going to be about the 1940s vintage retro fashion events. And what I'm trying to get down to is when we go travelling and moving about, we're going to move from festival, an event, to the next event, take the pictures, a thing like that, and move along. And we're going to move along like that. But in the meantime, we're going to set up a camping store service for people who've not been camping or want to live off grid or want to learn how to live in a caravan, a van, a tent. We're going to do that. And it's going to be called Hillys. So you'll see that one come up on the internet shortly, because some people know and some don't. You've seen it on some of the sites. We have a wood. It's not actually, it's more Anthony's wood than mine, but we have a wood where he's going to teach woodland skills, which is more looking after the wood, not camping bushcraft. There will be some, but not a lot. May do, may go bigger, depends on how many we get. The other thing is does pony trekking. We've got 2 horses. You'll have seen the horses on on Nomadic Woodsman. We're going to do pony trekking with those. Anthony's building a couple of carts to take maybe disabled kids on tours as well. So there's a lot happening. So we're trying to get to the point where we mix everything together, so we can go with our van life, our nomadic life, our off-grid life, our cameras, our 40s, so everything comes together. And what happened as well was they said, then when I said all this to the kids, oh, let's go camping, Dad. So I thought, well, alright, yeah, you're going camping. Well, can we come and look in your shed and have a look what camping gear you want and what do we need and what that's another reason we thought we might as well do the family camping as well. So we're going to do 3-4 sets of camping. We're going to do the family camping, the event camp, family event camping, the survival bugging out camping, van camping, and more or less off-grid living, which is where we're going to end up, hopefully. And all this comes about from all the experience that we've had all over the years of doing all these things. And hopefully that'll work. And hopefully the pandemic gets out of the way and lets us crack on with it. Because I believe in the not too distant future a lot of people are going to want to go out in the woods camping, enjoying the outdoors in England and other places as well. So we're looking forward to that, and I'm going to start sharing all the experiences of all of them and how I came about to know some of them. So we'll share something about me. I'll just have a look at my notes, make sure I haven't missed any. Yep, equipment, skills, places, how-tos, what to look out for, all the things that we've learned over the years and picked up from granddads, dads, people we've known, people we've gone camping with. I've been with some great guys camping, ex-army, normal guys who've just learnt the bushcraft skill, same as me. They've picked it up from their fathers and forefathers, and they've read and learnt. So that's the plan. Now, to see a little bit more information, just a little bit more, think I missed anything out. Or did I miss anything out about the cars, the racing cars? Oh yeah, the garage. Right, Hillys garage. It's going to be more about motorsport, because that was my original passion. I used to race grass track cars. My missus used to race grass track cars. My daughter raced for a while, and that's the thing I've always wanted to do. So we will be getting a van, a trailer, which I think there's a trailer behind me on. You can't see, it's on the other side, it's on that side. A car trailer, and you've probably seen the mini rally car in the garage. If not, I'll put a picture up of them all as we go through all this. That mini classic rally car, I'm hoping to race that, so we're going to go to race events as well, and live off grid at racetracks, etc, etc, camping again. I did have a Volvo Amazon historic rally car. I'll put a picture of that up if I can find it. I've had classic caravans, I've had all sorts of things. I've too many to list. And you will have seen the Land Rover. Now the old Land Rover were bought many years ago for my son to build, and he built some of it. He learned how to repair cars off it. That's going to be a logging truck to go up to the wood to take things in, pull things out, and we're going to make it a little bit Mad Maxy, just so when we go down road here it might draw a bit of attention, so it looks something different, just for fun. And that'll be the Wastelander, because I've always had another passion for dystopia, surviving the apocalypse, which I don't really want to be in one now, but I don't think we'll be in one that bad, but you never know. But I've always took an interest in that. If you ever want to see anything about an apocalypse, you want to watch an History Channel video called After the Apocalypse, and it runs through all the stages. It's a documentary where people tell you what's going to happen and how things pan out. Anyway, on the lighter note, so that's the idea. You'll see Hillys come up with nomadic travel, outdoor life, camping and leisure. So we'll cover all the bits and pieces of what we've done over the years. Like I say, I'm sat in a caravan that I've been using for 10 years. I had another one before that for 10 years. I had another one many years ago for that one. I had a folding one. We've had loads of different things that are all linked to camping. So that's the route we're going. Hopefully you'll follow us. Like I say, a bit more information on the past coming on the other channels, which I'll explain in the next video and put them on Facebook so you know what they do, because I know people only like to follow certain things and not others. So we'll have us van camping on one, as family camping on another, off-grid on another, our nomadic travel on another. My garage is a different thing altogether, and what I'm going to put together is, I've got a shed at the corner. I'm going to call it my bunker, Hillys bunker, and we're going to go in there, and instead of me sat in caravan here, I've got to make a little bunker outside at garage, and we'll go in there and we can film in there, and we can do news, reviews, skills, gear reviews, etc. And that way we can link them together so tell people what's happening on each one. And hopefully in later in the year, maybe next year, when the pony trekking is, when the camping's going to be, when the bushcrafting's going to be, things like that. So we can bring it all together in one thing. Right, thanks for watching. You know, everybody saying like, subscribe on all of them, and look forward to seeing you all after this.